Bye. Wait for it. Here we go. There it is. There it is. Oh, the garbage. Oh my goodness. So it's very underwhelming, actually, right? You've actually been driving next to garbage since you got on the bus, and yet this is the only part of the landfill where you can see it. Now, this is called the active phase because there's lots of activity here, and it's the only open face of garbage at the landfill. We try to keep the active phase as small as possible to control the smell and to control the plastic bags getting flown everywhere. And that is actually a big difference between a dump and a landfill. At a dump, there are no controls about what happens to the garbage, whereas this is all very well controlled. Oh, you can't see us in the windows. Okay, our bus driver is going to revolve around until stop, and then if you want, you can stand up in your seats and have a look over the fence. So generally, you guys will put your garbage on the curb. The curbside pickup is a garbage truck, a little one. The garbage truck will go to a transfer station, and at the transfer station, they will put 4 or 5 loads worth of garbage trucks in one of those white trucks that you see there. So that's from our transfer station. And you can see the garbage coming out the back. So inside that truck is a walking floor. That means it's basically a conveyor belt in the truck, and that's how it pushes the garbage out. The bulldozer is waiting there, and he's going to push that garbage into place. And on the right-hand side, there's a machine with really big spikes on its wheels. That's the compactor. So once the garbage is where the bulldozer wants it, the compactor will squish, 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 squish 5 times over the garbage. Why do we want to squish the garbage so much? We want lots of garbage to fit in here so that we have more room for more garbage. So how are we doing? With all the recycling we're doing, with all the composting we're doing, are we producing less garbage? Yes, we are! So give yourselves a round of applause. You guys are doing a great job. But, of course there's a but. So per person, there's less garbage per person per year. However, why are we still getting more garbage? Anyone? More people. Right, so we really need to work at getting less and less garbage per person because we get more and more people every year. So the pile that we are sitting on right here, phase 1, was filled in about 10 years. This area, to get to the same height as us, is going to take much less than 10 years, hard to predict, but much less because we're receiving so much more garbage. Because there's just so many more people. So this is all built according to an engineer's specifications. So like I said, the garbage gets put, the bulldozer pushes it into place, and the compactor compacts it down. At night, on the far left, you can see a big tarp. At night, we cover it with a tarp. And once we're finished with an area, we cover it with dirt or with that chopped up wood. You can really see it. Any questions? Lots of people pointing. You can see quite a few seagulls. For me, that's quite a few seagulls. And lots of eagles swooping in and out. Why are these birds here? They're looking for food, right? So if we have a food waste ban on the garbage, why are they still here? Because someone's not following the rules. So we still get quite a bit of food waste in our garbage, and that's why we still have animals here scavenging. So it would be best for the animals and for us if you keep your food waste in the green bin. So on this tour, we went to the recycling place first, then the composting place, and then finally to the garbage. And we hope you do the same in your own house. First recycle as much as you can, then compost as much as you can, and only the residual bits should go in this pile. Okay, we're going to go down the hill, and as we go down, you can have a look around. Behind us here, all that green area is Burns Bog. In the distance is the Alex Fraser Bridge. On the right, in the very far distance, is the bottom of Mount Baker. Can't see the top today. And straight in front of us is Boundary Bay. So between Boundary Bay and us is the Boundary Bay Airport. And also a whole bunch of greenhouses. And I will mention those greenhouses again later. There are bald eagles sitting on these posts here as we go by. So the people on the right side, if you look up, you'll see them on the light or the power line here. Did anyone go and see the Pacific Northwest Raptor display? So generally we don't want birds scavenging the landfill garbage because they take the plastic bags and spread them around the neighborhood, and also they can get hurt if they're on the garbage. So for example, seagulls are frenzy feeders, and they will have their heads down, they won't be watching, and one of the big machines will come by. They are protected by the Migratory Bird Species Act, federal legislation, and so we are required to protect the birds. So we have hired Pacific Northwest Raptors, and they have falconers who stand there with a little falcon or a hawk on their arm, and they fly the hawk back and forth, and that keeps the seagulls off the garbage until it's covered up with either the tarp or the dirt. Those falconers have a cool job. They also have an Indiana Jones whip for going scaring away the birds, and they have little like flare guns, and they shoot off fireworks during the day occasionally. Cool job, no? That wasn't in my like possible jobs for the future in high school. Yeah, they have a display and they have some of the birds. They raise the birds from the egg. This is their job. Right, so on the right side you can see the car crushing lot. So this is where we take all the cars and we... No? It was just a joke. We're not going to crush anybody's car. Okay, there are two cool things to see here. On your left, yes, is the lake. So as you saw, the active face is actually a small part. It's mostly covered with dirt. So originally when we started the landfill, we dug dirt out of this area, we put it on the pile. We dug more dirt, put it on the pile. We kept digging and digging, and eventually we had a huge hole. So we stopped digging, and the hole filled up with water. Ta-da! A lake. It's a great thing to have on your work site. The cool thing is it's clean. It is so clean that we were discussing stocking it with fish so we could go fishing at lunchtime. This idea was nixed by management, but that's okay. There are still some fish in there, carp and little tiny ones, which I don't know the name of. I'm not a biologist. And how can this water be clean? In between us and the lake, there are two ditches. So the ditch closest to us is filled with leachate, also known as garbage teeth. Right, so the rain hits the garbage, oozes through it, turns brown and goopy and has all kinds of contaminants in it, and it gets led to this inside ditch. The inside ditch is tilted, so it goes to one corner of the landfill. This ditches go all the way around, and it gets put in the sewage system. So it goes to the same place the stuff goes that you flush your toilet, to the Annacis Island sewage treatment plant, where it gets cleaned up. And the outside, once we're done with an area of the landfill, we're no longer going to put any garbage there. We put a big plastic sheet over it, some more dirt, and plant flowers. Right? At that point, the rain will hit the flowers, go through the dirt, and hit that plastic sheet. Will not touch the garbage, and so it's clean water, and that goes in the outside ditch. The height of the outside ditch is always higher than the inside ditch, and that's how we prevent any chemicals or anything from getting out. We have one guy who works here, that's all he does is test the water wells and test the water just outside to make sure nothing gets out, which is pretty cool. On this side you can see piles of different kinds of dirt, big rocks, little rocks. So this is where we get our dirt now to put on top of our garbage pile. Like I said, if they're digging a ditch outside your house in downtown Vancouver, they have to put the dirt somewhere, they bring it here. And then we separate it out and we use it for building roads. Okay, we're just about at our last stop for the tour. My favorite stop of all, the landfill gas facility. Oh, I forgot to mention the condos. So Vancouver, we need condos. So there you go, 4 condos for sale. 5, actually. Now, actually, these condos are already occupied and not for sale. So those Harris Hawks they are that the Pacific Northwest group uses to scare the seagulls away, this is where they live. Pretty nice, right? View of the lake, heat lamp, little pool of water, daily maid service, and free food. Wow. That little trailer on the side, that's for the human members of the Pacific Northwest Raptor team. But each of the Hawks gets their own little condo, which is cool. So as I said, once we're done with an area, like this one here, we cover it with a big sheet of plastic. And the stuff that's down there, the compostable stuff, decays and makes gas. And we want to capture this gas because the gas that it makes is the exact same kind of gas. If you have a gas stove at home and turn it on, natural gas, that's what's coming out of here. So we can make money, right? We can sell it and make money. Why would we waste this resource? This is awesome. So what we do is we cover it with the big plastic sheets and then we drill holes into the landfill, right to the bottom of the landfill, and they act like straws. The gas plant that you can see right in front of me is basically a huge vacuum. And the vacuum is sucking on all of the straws all over this landfill and taking all of the gas out. Once we have all the gas, good question, we pipe it into a pipeline, a small one, just under the highway, and it goes to those greenhouses that I mentioned on top of the hill in Phase 1. The greenhouses are run by Village Farms, and they have a plant there that burns our fuel, makes electricity, and that's how they heat and light their greenhouses. If they have any extra electricity, they sell it to BC Hydro. So in the winter when it's cold and they have to heat their greenhouses, they use it all. But in the summertime like now, they would be selling some to BC Hydro, which is cool. Currently, they grow peppers and tomatoes, but in July, they're switching their product.
Marijuana.
There you go. They're one of the many greenhouses that are converting part of their greenhouse facilities to the newest crop. We don't actually sell them all of our gas though. Some of the gas we burn. If you look up these 2 stacks here, the top is kind of shimmery, hard to see sometimes. So we're burning part of the gas. Why would we burn the gas? So the gas that's coming out of the landfill is methane, and it is the strongest greenhouse gas that we have. The gas that's coming out of the top of these stacks is carbon dioxide. That's still a greenhouse gas, but it's much lower on the potency part of all those gases. So that's why we're burning it. But we really shouldn't be emitting any kind of greenhouse gases. So we are in negotiations with Fortis to take that last part of our gas and stick it straight into the pipeline, and then we won't have to burn any at all. So hopefully that's in the future for us. I also did all the stickers here. Yellow and black, kind of monotone theme, but there were a lot of stickers. It was a good day. All right. Here we go. We're going to go on to the end of our tour. Yeah, and all the signs too. Look at all the beautiful signs. Okay, so that brings us almost to the end of our tour. So I'm just going to review what we looked at. We looked at the recycling. You can put lots of stuff in your blue bin. And if it's too big or bulky, you could bring it here. And a lot of things get recycled, and we are recycling more every year. We went to the composting facility. Your green waste bin goes to another location. So if you have landscaping waste, it can come here. Or broken down furniture, it can come here too. We went to the active phase where all the garbage goes, the rest of the stuff that you can't recycle or compost, and we had a look at how it gets put in place. And then by the lake and to the gas plant, which is the final thing that we can get from all this garbage is gas, and we can use that as well. lots of traffic safe. Does anyone have any questions?
I do.
Yeah.
How do you get gas?
The question was, how do we get gas? So under this pile here, there is garbage, and the garbage is decaying because there's little micro things that are eating it. And the microbes, when they fart, they make gas. Basically microbe farts. So you know what? You also make methane. Sometimes. It's just harder to collect. Other questions? That was a good one. So was it in this, I cannot remember who asked me what question. Someone asked me about asbestos. So you can see our bin there for asbestos. So even like individual small bags of asbestos we will put there, and then we'll make a big hole in the landfill and we'll cover it and GPS where it is. The main reason we need to know where it is in the future, if we go back and drill those straws in, we don't want to drill into that. That would be dangerous, right? So we need to know where it is. Well, you guys were lucky. Nice empty bus. Look at these next people. It's going to be very full. All right. Thank you very much for coming to the landfill. I hope you learned lots about where your garbage goes. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Let's have a round of applause for a bus driver. That's for me. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Looks like they're going to take off again right away. Possibly me as well.